Welcome to our presentation on D2L, or as it is more formally known as Desire to Learn. What is D2L? Why does it seem like every university has a D2L website? Well, love it or hate it, it is most certainly here to stay, so why not find out more about it? D2L was founded in 1999 by John Baker during his engineering class, where Mr. Baker was asked to look at the world in a new and interesting way and come up with a question that no one had asked before. Now, it seems that Mr. Baker was interested in the educational system, so his question was, that he most certainly asked himself, was how could I change the face of the educational system and provide a software that would dramatically transform learning? And through trial and error, D2L was shortly created. D2L is currently used by customers in higher education, K-12, healthcare, government, and even the enterprise sector. So much to my surprise, even, I didn't realize how versatile D2L is and how abundant it is. D2L services include the cloud-based learning system, which we will get to later in the presentation, the end user help desk support, and other services as well. So D2L is allowing courses to be put online for distance learning as well, not just those who take classes in person, which is great news for us guys, as I'm sure your grandfather or grandmother has cried to you that they had to walk 2 miles both way through 15 feet of snow with no shoes on just to get to class 5, 6 days a week. Thankfully, that is long in the past. Now you can take a course and attend a university online from almost anywhere in the world, which gives you a better chance and opportunity to succeed because now you are no longer bound by your geographical location. So, now that we have the brief history, let's move on to the data and information processing component of the ADDIC system, and let's look at the ADDIC system in its entirety. Now let's look at the data and information processing component. D2L is built to be a learning platform, so most of the data comes from the student side in the form of assignments, test results, and forum posts. The other part of the data comes from the teacher by posting discussion content, course material, and assignment feedback. While user input makes up most of the data, Desire to Learn does gather some data on its own in the form of metadata. And examples of this would be if something has been viewed, who has viewed it, and other key piece of information like a timestamp of when somebody saw a post or another timestamp of when somebody uploaded a piece of information or subscribed to a post or things that relate to that. The bigger idea of Desire to Learn is that it provides a learning platform for instructors to provide an accessible place for all students' courses, content, and assignments. But it also provides a grading module to keep track of students' current grades while having the ability to weigh assignments differently. While it is accessible to the instructor and the student, D2L does fall short in this data transmission because it does not have the ability to submit grades to the university directly. Now, I seem to remember our professor stating that there is in fact an option to be able to do this, to submit grades to the university directly, but from what I can understand, it is buggy and glitchy, so most of the work has to be done manually. One key point that I want to make about D2L is the way it stores its data. Although D2L originally hosted its applications in a data center, the company decided to migrate to the cloud several years ago. And I have a quote here by Mr. Odson. Mr. Odson is a senior member of the D2L management team. As we thought about our needs for availability, he says, security and agility, the cloud seemed like the best choice. Once we made that decision, we had to consider what the best cloud technology was. For D2L, the answer was Amazon Web Services, or AWS. AWS has been in the cloud industry the longest, and it has the most mature and developer-friendly environment, he goes on to say. So D2L runs its Brightspace platform and dozens of other learning applications on hundreds of Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud instances. To store all its application data, the organization uses Amazon Simple Storage Service, or Amazon S3. Now, a Amazon Elastic Load Balancing is used to keep the network up and to reduce congestion. The server load is also spread across multiple Amazon servers, so it's not just running through one server. And it seems that D2L is highly available because the AWS, the Amazon Cloud Service, has servers all across the world. Now we can move on to the display and communication component of the edX system. One method D2L uses to display information is the content section. Under this section, instructors can create a course calendar. Under this calendar, they can add any required materials for the course. They can also add any assignments that are due, including quizzes, discussions, and Dropbox assignments. Instructors may also add videos and links for the students to access. Another method for communicating information is the discussion section. This allows all the students in the course to share knowledge and communicate easily with one another. Now, this is a feature that this online course, the Introduction to Information Science and Technology course, heavily relies upon. I even relied upon it extensively to improve the flow of communication, to see how everybody is doing, and to get the word out on what does need to be completed by when and what other components are still missing. So I think that was a pretty good component of D2L where I can post anything and it can even be viewer restricted, meaning not the entire class is going to see it. That was pretty overwhelming. The very first discussion post where we had huge number of posts. Mine got lost in the mix, or at least it certainly felt that way. So restricting the discussions to a set number, group-based even, is a good way of communicating and displaying information that I think D2L does a good job of doing. I want to also touch on the human factors of the edX system. So the goal of D2L's design is to be as user-friendly as possible. According to D2L.com, the easy access allows instructors and students to focus on learning and teaching. The main page has clear access to all the courses, and in addition, D2L has an easy grading system for instructors. D2L also gives students the ability to take full courses from the comfort of their home. First-time users may be challenged by the design at first, but there is a help page that gives them instructions on how to use all the components on D2L. And I know for a fact that not a lot of people use this help page because I currently work at the help desk as a help desk consultant, and I've gotten so many calls about D2L over the course of the semester where people say something to the line of, I can't see all of my courses, they've somehow vanished and disappeared, and I'm freaking out because I have a quiz that's due 2 hours from now, or the paper is mysteriously gone, I know that I uploaded it, please help me. Well, the simple answer that I found is most people set it to the next semester, spring 2018, or even the summer. And when they do this, they're not currently enrolled in spring 2018 or summer 2018. At least a couple of weeks ago, they weren't able to enroll via pause, so they didn't see any courses. So all I had to do was tell them, hey, change your term to fall 2017, and of course, all their courses came back up. So even though D2L does include this help page, unfortunately, I don't think a lot of people know how to use it, much less that it even exists. So having said that, I want to briefly touch upon the accessibility and navigation portion of it. At D2L, and this is from the Brightspace.com, which is a facet of D2L. So at D2L, we follow web accessibility standards closely and work with interested clients to test the usability of our products for people with disabilities. We believe that instructional practices should focus on helping people learn and should not be limited by the learning management system the material is delivered on. I know that there are certain software out available that will read each individual word. So for the vision impaired, if they can't see what's on the screen, they have the software that reads it back to them, and it seems what D2L is saying that they are compatible across the board through most, if not all, such software. And they go on to say that they recommend that individuals who use screen readers, screen magnifiers, or navigate primarily by keyboard, that they read the accessibility topics to help ensure that the features and settings they use best support their needs. So they do provide assistance to those who need it. Now I want to move on to the information professions. There are many different professions that play a role for D2L. Not only do they have the software developers, there are managers and customer service representatives to help the recruitment of new clients and servicing existing clients. One of these is a customer success manager. This position helps with the client's needs and builds relationships with the customer base. In addition, there is a product support analyst. This position brings technical knowledge and helps with troubleshooting issues. Another profession is a senior software developer. The senior software developer uses technical engineering to help develop and improve the D2L software. Lastly, we come upon any social issues or ethical issues or policy issues that will arise from the existence of this system. The fact that D2L is accessed by using the internet places one's privacy and personal information at risk. However, it does seem that D2L has a very detailed privacy policy that spells out what steps they take to ensure a person's privacy. They are certified by the ISO 27001 standards and take appropriate security measures to not allow unauthorized access, alteration, disclosure, or destruction of data. Personal information can only be accessed by D2L employees, contractors, and agents who are on a need-to-know basis. The authorized individuals are also bound by confidentiality obligations. Even with these security measures, they do make note that D2L cannot guarantee unauthorized access to an individual's information or warrant the security of said information. So if you go to d2l.com on a browser and you log in, put in your ePanther ID, your password, at the top left corner, you should see, or at least on the login page to put in your credentials, you will see a green lock and the word secure. And if you click on it, it should say secure connection. And below that, information, for example, passwords or credit card numbers, is private when it is sent to the site. So that is a good indicator that D2L, at least its login credentials, are secure. I believe back in 1999 when John Baker asked himself the question of how can he improve the face of the educational system, when his answer was D2L, even if it was still in its rudimentary form, it has evolved to something that a lot of people are thankful for. It has allowed them to expand their limits and break their geographical commitments. They can now attain a higher education from the pleasures of their own home. They do not have to travel many, many miles if they don't have a vehicle, for example. It provides them the flexibility of getting a higher level education. And without D2L, it just simply would not have been possible. So John's question was a very good one. And I believe the answer to that question, D2L, even with some minor glitches and technical issues, has been very successful. So for that, B2L was a very good answer.